This is the biggest catalyst of them all, and Vivi has just shown to us that they are making use of it, that they are paving the road to mass adoption. Hey everyone, it's the Patient Hodler coming at you with another video, and in this one we are going to reveal the insane 3D chess strategy that Vivi is applying right now to get Vivi to mass adoption. And this is relevant for you as an Ecomi token investor, as well as the Vivi app is currently the backbone for the value of the Ecomi token. But before we start, please keep in mind that I'm a crypto and NFT investor and not your financial advisor. So please do your own research before you ape full degen into the Ecomi token or the Vivi collectibles. Also, if you enjoy this type of content, please consider smashing up the like to new locations in this world. Subscribe to my channel, tap the bell to always get notified, and let me know in the comments below what you think about this 3D chess strategy that Vivi is applying. Also, at this point of time, I want to thank my rare hodlers, my Patreons and my channel members for always supporting my journey and for holding the line here during this bear market. But with that out of the way, let's get finally starting. So, as you can see here, not a cornfield, super beautiful weather without a lot of wind. So we are taking a walk in the shadows of this beautiful forest here. And I think it's the right time to talk about the strategy that Vivi is applying, because the sentiment on the Vivi marketplace just went into the trash. So I think it is a very, very good time to see and to reveal the overall strategy that Vivi is applying, because if we understand what they are doing, we can also understand why the prices are as they are and where they might be heading in the future. So the reason why I'm making this video is because there is a video circulating on Twitter that has also been retweeted by David Yu, and this is from a journal, a Japanese journal, and we are going to take a closer look at what it exactly is. That is called US Frontline, and it's about the August issue #1, and apparently this journal is full of NFT news. And as we will read right now, this is a business journal. So let's look first what US Frontline does. Read with me. In the About Us section, it says STS Innovation Inc. publishes the nation's largest circulating Japanese free magazine, US Frontline, which is devoted to information about the latest business trends between Japan and the United States. So as you have seen, this is a free to use business journal that mainly treats with the connection of the US and the Japanese market. And this is obviously perfect because it brings interaction and awareness for the Japanese firms, for US businesses and opportunities, and the US market, and US firms for collaboration and vice versa. So US firms can discover potential collaboration or interesting firms to get in touch with. As I will display for you, Vivi is appearing on several sites in this business magazine with how their NFT premium collectibles shop looks. There are photos of David Yu and Dan Crothers. I am not capable of reading Japanese, so I don't know what's written below. But it seems that it is an overall presentation of the company, the CEO, what business they are doing, and therefore don't get this wrong. This is awareness, this is presence to find other businesses to collaborate and to find businesses that want to launch their NFTs or their solutions on and with Vivi. So this could also involve the Ecomi token, obviously, when it's mentioned and if it's mentioned in the text. And we still need to find out, and this is something that is very hard to do, which companies exactly and how many companies are looking at this magazine. But in general and overall, it's already good news that Vivi is exposed in this magazine and that it's trying to find collaboration and partnerships and visibility for other enterprises and companies, and probably potentially also firms that want to launch their NFTs on the app in Japan. Now this is in confluence with what David, you said before in an AMA, that the strategy for 2022 and probably also 2023 is approaching the APAC region. And this also requires obviously business partnerships. Now, we know that the biggest catalyst of them all is obviously a localization strategy and an implementation strategy for the whole world. This strategy is so important because in the world we have so many different countries with different cultures and different favorite styles of collecting, collectible verticals, collectible types, and within the brands like Marvel and so on, also different favorite heroes. And if we are looking at it from a standpoint of real cultural difference, we can also see this, for example, in favorite national sports. There are over 25 favorite national sports around the world that are having the #1 place in their countries. And I only want to bring this up as an example because it shows how diverse and different these countries are in what you need to really be able to approach them and to get their attention and to get these users onto the app. As you can see on this map, just as an example for sports, we can see that there is mainly football across the whole world, but there are also other things like basketball, swimming, volleyball, and horse racing, bow shooting, and stuff like that. So from a standpoint of a European where football is mostly the main sport, it becomes clear that we have not enough understanding for all of these markets, so it needs deeper research. And I think this is where Vivi is getting. We have seen that a Japanese Discord has been already launched 3 months ago. We have also seen that they have launched a Spanish-speaking Discord, so they are preparing the infrastructure for community interaction for those countries. In the end, localization, the strategy, translating the app in different languages and approaching these different cultures with the certain drops, brands and collectibles is obviously the best strategy to onboard the whole world, because ultimately everyone is somehow and somewhat a collector. So it's only a matter of awareness, interest and accessibility for those country groups. Now, this is one side of the strategy. And the other side that I wanted to outline is the one of approaching directly collectors, because the declared goal for the app is approaching collectors and not investors. And right now we have more investors than real collectors on the app, although we said that Vivi is a collectibles app. And here's the second part of Vivi's strategy. Besides approaching certain countries that fit into the stage of the project right now, such as Europe and the US in the beginning, but then also a little bit of France, Japan, and so on, we can see that they are trying to build the inner core of a real collector community and society on the app. And this is by approaching, for example, DesignerCon. If they are going to DesignerCon, they are trying to build a very hardcore user base that is focused on design collectibles, that is focused on art collectibles of specific artists with low edition sizes in the digital world. When they are going to Comic-Con, like right now San Diego Comic-Con, they are trying to create awareness for specific collectors that are now in the analog world and are collecting physical comics, for example, but then trying to bring them on the app to have a really core user base for comics in the digital world and on the digital platform. And right now we are not seeing a huge success. But the reason for this strategy is that you want little hardcore collector user bases from different countries in different verticals, which is also the reason why Vivi is probably not launching more verticals right now, because they want to build out real user bases, not only investor user bases, in those collectible verticals like comics and 3D collectibles with or without animation features. This is very important from Vivi's standpoint right now, and I think overlooked by many, because this hardcore collector user base in the different countries will be always used as a reference point for the other collectors, the retail collectors in the end. Because, for example, think back to Pokemon. You are looking right now at the hardcore collectors, what they value, what they have in their insane collections, which ones are the most valued PSA 10, Shadowless, Charizard, collectibles and so on. You're always seeking the big and hardcore nerd insane collectors as a point of reference. So if you don't have them on the app, you cannot build a periphery community around them that collects and enjoys the company of all these collectors that really have the big stuff in their collections. So for us being early right now, we can see, because some of us become collectors in the process and others are sitting on the stuff that the hardcore collectors will want in the next years. But we can also see sentiment is about as low as it gets right now, because we just do not have these communities and milestones on the app at the present moment. But I think there's also hope, obviously, for this, because we're on a bear market. No one is interested in NFTs anymore from the retail side. And yes, Vivi has all the time for the next 2 to 3 years to build out a community here that is made of art collectors and nerds, for example, from DesignerCon in the specific and different countries. Comic nerds from Comic Con in the different countries. Then another vertical that they approached, which is also not so obvious, is film and movie fans that are going to the cinemas and that then can redeem collectibles to mark their journey. Because as we have seen, collecting is always part of storytelling and of your own journey. So if you're collecting something, you want to have it because it reminds you of a certain place, a certain time, a certain feeling, and so on. So for me, for example, the MC1 comic will always remind me of the first days on Vivi. So probably there will be always one that will never leave my collection, no matter how high the price is. Okay, let's not get ahead of ourselves, because if someone would want it for $1 million or so, then probably I would sell this comic. But this is probably very far in the future, and I don't know if it will ever happen because of the massive edition size of this comic. Anyways, let's sum this all up here. The Vivi strategy is comprised of 2 different directions. The one is getting international and attracting national communities of certain countries, and the other one is attracting the hardcore inner core user base of those certain countries and of the verticals that they are trying to build out right now on the app. And with that, there is like an onion skin shaped approach where they would onboard less and less hardcore collectors and retail investors in the end on the app around the centerpiece of every vertical and nation. And I think this is what they are currently working on, and I think this is what will ultimately guarantee the success of the app, because we can see that people are looking towards figures in the app right now, what is worth collecting and investing in, such as a Dr. Profit, such as a Ray Fixie, but also such as channels like Comics and Crypto, what they say is worth hodling or worth selling, that is also law for many other people on the app. So I hope this little theorizing about what they are going to do helps you to understand and also get over the low prices a little bit on the app. And let me know in the comments below what you think about all of this. Wherever you are on the world, have yourselves a great morning, evening, day, night or afternoon, and see you in the next video.